Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mariah and here on my channel I post lifestyle, university and physiotherapy related content. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe and turn the notification bell to all so you never miss a video. So basically I want to talk about BTECs because, well, it's something that obviously helped me get to this point. I've done 3 BTECs in my time. I say in my time like I'm old, Jesus Christ, I'm only 23. But like, I've done 3 BTECs in my time. And when I went to speak at my 6th form in December. I went to speak in December at my 6th form about my journey from GCSEs to MSc physiotherapy, and I was obviously called in because I took a different path in comparison to the other people who took the path of A levels and through to uni and to wherever they are now, or people who took like an apprenticeship and to wherever they are now. So, just a quick background about me. As I said, I did 3 BTECs. I did BTEC Music, Level 2 BTEC Music at GCSE, and I got passed in that. I did Level 2 BTEC Sports at GCSE as well, and I got a distinction star in that. And then I went on to 6th form to do a Level 3 BTEC Sports degree, and I got a triple distinction star in that. And then obviously I went and did my undergrad, which you can catch in my playlist, which I'll put up in the cards. Bar, the thing is on this side, or that's, I can't remember what side it's on, but it's called in the cards. And now I'm at where I'm at with me doing my MSc physiotherapy, which I'll also put that playlist in the cards as well. But I just want to jump on here because when I went to speak to the year 9s, when I did that talk at the 6th form, one of the questions that came up was obviously like the stigma around BTECs, and I felt like things have gotten better around the stigma around BTECs, but there's still something there, and the fact that I was asked questions regarding it shows that there's still something there that needs to be addressed. So when I was applying to not necessarily when I was applying to 6th form, when I was applying to university, I found it very hard considering I didn't do A levels. Well, I did AS citizenship, but I never finished it. I chose not to continue with it. I'm not really that great of an exam sitter personally, and I wasn't interested in citizenship. It was a decent course, but it just wasn't me. I wasn't passionate about it. So I decided to drop it and go on and continue with sports. But the issue is, like, for example, one of the reasons I couldn't do my undergrad in physiotherapy like I initially wanted to from the jump was because I didn't do so great in my GCSEs. And on top of that, me not doing great in my GCSEs meant that I couldn't select A levels. I didn't initially believe I was going to do a level 3 BTEC sport degree or BTEC in general when it came to 6th form. I was planning on doing A levels, only A level, but my GCSE knock-on effect led to me having to do BTECs, and I don't regret it. I think it was probably the best choice for me. I'm down the long run, looking at it now, it's probably definitely the best choice for me. But the thing that I wanted to basically say is that it was really hard. So like when applying for certain universities, like the really high up universities, I didn't even bother looking because like when I did look, it was kind of just like, oh yeah, we take some BTECs with specific titles, but they wouldn't take mine. And it was just mostly we prefer A levels, or you could get away with it if you did BTEC and a specific A level. So like for physio, it'd be like, oh, if you did BTEC sports but you did an A level in biology, we could turn a blind eye to the BTEC to an extent. That's kind of how I felt it was at the time. But like now, I feel like things are getting better in the sense like more places are willing to accept a BTEC and realize how like they're not as different as people think. It's just that everybody learns differently. So like I want to jump on here and address that. So one of the first things I want to address is that a BTEC is not easier than an A level. That was one comment I always got when I was younger. It'd be like, oh, you're doing a BTEC because it's easier. You're doing a BTEC because it's easier. No, I'm doing a BTEC because it's one, in the course that I'm passionate about, and two, I chose to do BTEC because I know my learning style. I'm not going to go sit in a hall when I know I don't do good sitting in an exam hall. I feel like A levels, like, don't get me wrong, the traditional approach, and doesn't mean anything's wrong with them, and it doesn't mean anything's wrong with BTEC because of the traditional approach, whatever. But like, A levels test you purely on your ability to memorize and condense content and like spit it out when you're asked to spit it out. I know I'm not great at that. Like, so I do things now that like help me remember little things. But that's the thing I don't like about A levels, is because it's kind of just like, oh, okay, we're gonna learn all this content, and don't get me wrong, address me like if I'm wrong. Maybe you do coursework throughout the time, like we do with BTEC. But it's kind of just like, okay, I'm expecting you to learn all this content over a semester and then come sit in the exam and spit out certain parts of the content. No, I don't do well in exam conditions. I just know it already. But like the perks for BTEC for me was that it was coursework. I knew that I was better at coursework, and I actually gained a lot more skills than I feel like I would have gained if I did A levels personally. So like For example, when it comes to BTECs, I know that now they're introducing exams, or they have exams in the BTEC, because when I did it, none of my BTEC courses had exams. It was just purely coursework. And I'd have to obviously make sure I'm prioritizing everything and making sure I'm keeping my time management and then organizing everything, because I have multiple coursework coming throughout the year. And like, one thing that kind of like irritated me in sixth form, because obviously I did coursework in comparison to doing exams, in year 13 we'd have like this strict time in the timetable where we had to use it to revise. At that point when that came up, that was close to obviously the exam period for the A-level students. I didn't have a choice, but I had to attend those, even though I had already submitted all my coursework and got everything done. So that hour would just be an hour of me just sitting there twiddling my thumbs doing foolishness, because I'm like, I did a BTEC, I didn't need to. Anyway, I'm going off track. But yeah, the format is different, and I feel like we need to realize that it's not wrong for someone to select something that suits their learning style better. And I think just BTEC should be recognized more. And another thing that pops up that I can't stand when people like want to, what's it called, like question its equivalence to an A-level. I'll add a table up in here to show that it is on the same level. Like, me getting a triple distinction star is equivalent to me getting 3 A stars. It's just that I did it in a different manner to the traditional manner. Doesn't mean I'm any less smart. You know what I mean? It's like, come on now. So that was one of the things I made sure to tell these students when I got the chance to speak to them, was that like, yes, you have to work really hard and you have to be, you know, good at managing anything no matter what you pick, whether it's an A-level or a BTEC. But another downside is that you have to realize that when you pick a BTEC, you will come across, like, it shouldn't be this case, but you will come across a little bit more challenges than you would if you picked A-levels. It's how it is. It shouldn't be that way, but it is how it is. In that sense, certain courses you have to do a foundation year because you did a BTEC, whereas you probably wouldn't have to do that if you did A-levels, and stuff like that, which sucks. But like, yeah, I just want people to realize that there's so many different BTECs you could do out there. It's not just like obviously sports or music, which I did. You could do it in business, you could do it in this and that. And sometimes that diploma can even lead up to a degree. You could do BTECs up to like level 7, I believe. So that's like level 6 is university level, like me finishing my undergrad level 6 type stuff. But it's just like, can we just minimize the stigma around BTECs? Because like, I worked very, very hard. And like, one thing I do appreciate that was recognized, that when I went to Kent, even though I transferred out of Kent, one thing that I appreciate was recognized is the fact that because I went in there with a triple distinction star, they realized that I was at top of my class, I did very, very good, so I received a scholarship for that. Like, it wasn't like, oh, they paid for my tuition, it was just they gave me money for getting those grades. But like, not to downplay it, but like, you know, it's kind of just one of those things where I'm like, I think we need to encourage BTECs a little bit more and be like more open to a different teaching style, because not one size fits all. Like, why do we realize that in other aspects of life, but we don't want to seem to realize that not every learning style fits every student, not every, you know, thing like that. Like, come on now, really? But yeah, I just wanted to say, if you want to do BTEC, go for it. If you have any questions about BTEC and I can help you where I can help you, hit me up and find over there at the arrayray.yt Instagram account, and I don't mind answering some of the questions for you if you have any about them, or like any more questions about how I found BTECs. But I feel like, just some last point is, BTECs really shaped me as a person, helps me be more prepared for university than I feel like A-levels would have, just based off the type of course I do with the constant coursework and like being able to do theory as well as like hands-on aspects. I think that's a good balance for me, and like the skills that I used in my BTEC in terms of like organizing my life, I use them in my life now to organize my general life, not just university. So those are some pointers. I feel like I spoke all over the place, but I just want to say, remove and reduce the stigma around BTECs, please. Okay, well, I'll catch you guys in the next video, and it was nice speaking to you. See you.